Good evening. Good evening. I pray all is well with you today. I am continuing our discussion pertaining to barriers, barricades, blockades that prevent women from walking in their calling, from embracing the life that God has for them. When I did the survey, one of the problems that came up was that women do not walk in their calling because of past emotional pain, past trauma, past hurt. And I wanted to take a little bit of time to just talk about that. I think sometimes we expect people to move past things that have happened in the past without really taking time to understand how those things that happened to them, those events, really affected them in life. One of the things that I learned as I really took some time to consider this was that 60% of people have experienced some type of trauma in their life. And that trauma will prevent them from moving forward if they don't address it. I know you've heard of people almost drowning and then from that moment on are afraid of water. People who have gotten locked in closets becoming afraid of closed in spaces. So we know that trauma is something that can really affect your life. And the reason why it's so important is because the trauma will cause will rewire your brain. And I'm not going to get into all of the details of that. Just know that the trauma will affect how you think, how you act, and how you feel about things. When you don't figure out uh, what happened, if it happened to you in your childhood, trauma that you don't remember is just as critical as trauma that you remember happening. So we have to take the time to really understand what has gone on in our lives and dig in deep to figure out how our past has affected us, or it will come back at some of the most inconvenient times. You'll have some things to happen that will trigger you, and if you don't understand what is at play, you will find yourself surprised at how you may interact with people in certain situations. Also, past hurt and pain may cause you to gravitate towards similar types of situations, toxic relationships. You may have that magnet that draws people and situations to you that cause you to wonder, why am I attracting these situations and these people into my life? So it's important that we strive to heal from the past hurt that we have experienced in our life. And I want to say also that we should not discount the things that have happened in our past that may have hurt us. We should not compare our hurt or our trauma to someone else's to the point where we say, well, that person has really experienced something painful. Therefore, I'm not going to talk about my event because it doesn't compare to what the other person has gone through. That's counterproductive. What I want us to do is to really dig in and really go back through and look at our life. There's been a couple of situations that have really benefited me in working with a coach where I've had to go and really write my life story. First, it was in relation to dealing with money blocks, but then also in going through and trying to really figure out what my calling is in life. I've had to go back through my whole life, and just sitting down and taking that time to go through those memories will pull back pain sometimes in situations where I didn't expect it. So you want to know yourself. That's important that you take the time to spend with yourself and reflect on your life and your past and begin to categorize anything that may have happened that may be causing you pain, and don't discount it. You don't want your past emotional pain to stop you from doing the things that you dream of. You don't want it to prevent you from seeking out the right people to help you to move forward. You don't want it to cause fear to well up in you to the point where you are paralyzed, because that pain from the past gives you an overwhelming sense of helplessness that you can't overcome if you don't acknowledge it and know where it's coming from. Another area that I want to discuss is this normalized trauma, normalized pain that some people live in. Some people grow up in environments that, for the average person on a daily basis, their life is traumatic. But because they experience it day in and day out, they get used to living in that heightened sense of trauma and do not recognize and realize how it is impacting their development, their view of self, their view of the world, and their view of God. And when we began to see that that is the case, we can heal. We can make a decision to heal from the things that have happened in our life. So I want to say, don't spend too much time getting lost in the past. You want to go in. You want to go in and acknowledge the things that come up to you as you review your life, and you want to make note of them, but you don't want to end up pull back into that place of helplessness. The whole point of looking back over your life is so that you can reclaim your power to live the life that God has ordained you to live. So when we talk about emotional pain or trauma, some of the things that come to mind are, like I've already stated, unstable and unsafe environments that we live in. You could have been separated from your parent, either through them leaving or any number of things that happen in society that will separate you from your parents. Serious illness that you face or that someone that you love face, death of a loved one, a medical procedure that you may have, and then abuse, sexual, physical, and verbal abuse can cause you to have trauma. Now, one thing that's important there is you don't have to be the one experiencing the abuse in order for it to traumatize you. You could be someone who witnessed it, who lived through it, who lived in the house where this is going on. Domestic violence is one that comes to mind in that situation, and that's the next one: domestic violence. And then finally, neglect. When you grow up where no one is concerned about your needs, no one takes care of you as you're supposed to have someone take care of you as a child. All of these things can lead to emotional pain, and some of them can lead to levels of trauma that can paralyze you and bring you long-term hurt that will keep you from moving forward, that can affect you on your job, that can affect you in relationships, that can affect you in business, that can limit your creativity. However, when you make a conscious decision that you're going to figure out what is holding you back, what is keeping you from walking in your calling, then you will experience the victory of, of taking back your power and going to the Lord to help you go through. Now, I want to make a note here, because I'm not a therapist. And I'm not a counselor. I'm a pastoral counselor, but not licensed professional counseling. If you are in a point where you feel like you need to seek help, I encourage that you seek out a therapist or a counselor to help you walk through your case. If this is just something that you want to deal with, where you don't feel like you have that level where you need that constant support of a professional, then these are some tips that I want to leave you with. But I want to say that my number one tip is it's always good to go and get professional help. You can get professional and spiritual help to help you to make it through. You can have a therapist, you can have a spiritual guy, like a really good pastor who knows what they're doing, and you can have a coach. You can have a team of people that help you to make it through. I want to say that that's my first. How do I get past this? Get help. Help will help you to move quicker through. And I'm not trying to rush you, but I am saying that you've already been in this place long enough. It's time for you to stand in victory and be the woman that God has called you to be. So if there are some people out there that can help you to develop some processes to get past where you are quicker, then better off you are. So I'm gonna go through these quick because I'm already past my time limit. Acknowledge and recognize that you have experienced some emotional pain or trauma in your life. Number 2, resolve to take back your power and control at the point where you are now, if it is crippling you and keeping you from doing the things that you need to do. Number 3, walk in forgiveness. If you do not forgive, it's going to hurt only you, not the people who you refuse to forgive. Number 4, exercise, physical exercise, and a healthy, nutritious life will help your body to have that balance. Then also meditation, affirmation, and visualization, visualizing how you want your life to be, re-scripting your life, and giving yourself words to speak that align with where you want to be and where you want to go, taking control of that emotional energy and finding a pathway in your mind to override those negative pathways that are there, keeping you from doing what you're supposed to, that you want to do. And then build a healthy social life. You want to surround yourself with people who are going to help you to move in the direction that you want to go, as opposed to people who are pulling you back into that memory, back into that style of living that is a result of your trauma. And I know for me, there was a time in my life when I was attracted to certain types of people. And I recognize now it was because they drew me back to the familiar, even though the familiar was painful. That which I knew was better than to go on a path away from the familiar. So be mindful of the type of people that you are attracted to and the people that are attracted to you. And then finally, talk it out. When I say talk it out, I mean share the pain. Uh, there's many slogans out there. Your message matters. Your story counts. People are healed from your story. Share your message. But you can't share in the way that brings healing to others when you have not taken the necessary steps to heal yourself. However, when you can get to the point where you can talk about it, what I found is some of the things that I kept hidden in my closet of pain, when I began to share them with people, it took away the power of the secrets of those situations. It helped me to move forward. It removed from my mind part of, one of the things that we deal with is the fear that people are going to find us out. But when you expose yourself, when you share your deepest, and I'm not saying with everyone, but when you share, it allows you to take the power of that secret away. I hope this has helped you. I'm on a mission to help you to walk in your calling. And this was reason number 3 why women do not walk in their calling, dealing with emotional pain and past trauma. I pray that God will heal you right now where you are. I pray that you will take the steps to walk fully in healing. And it is a process and it doesn't happen overnight. I pray that you would be patient as you go through the process. I pray that you will use wisdom. And hey, Alexis, I pray that you will use wisdom in seeking out the things that you need to do. Rather, you need therapy, counseling, a pastor, a coach, a process, whatever you need to do. I pray that you will do what is necessary for you to overcome any emotional pain that you are holding on to from your past. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. You up kind of late, aren't you? 4 plus 5, 9. Your light should be out right now, Alexis. Why your lights aren't out? Shouldn't you be in the blackout mode? I was waiting on you. I was waiting on you to type your response. It's 10 o'clock. Yep, you're not supposed to be on the internet. Not at 10. That's a dark mode. Well, I'm trying to get setting up all of my, the things that we do, trying to get all my talks out and off my heart and onto the canvas so that they can do the work they're supposed to do. So I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Have a good one.